Hello everyone, this is Daniel, and well, there's a lot of people that are claiming they're doing the right thing by killing people. This is what's happening today, and we're expected to have these things happen in the end. But I'm begging you, do not think you're doing the right thing by hating other people. We're supposed to love every single culture and every single people, no matter what religion they are. But we're not supposed to succumb to other religions. But we're supposed to instead preach the truth about our religion and preach love towards one another. This is where we go in the middle ground. You see, we're supposed to love everyone and everything, no matter what. If you see a spider, don't kill it. Let nature prove its own ground. If you have to work around the ants, you have to work around the ants. But I do not believe in death. I believe in life. What this is continuing to be is that people are not instead of preaching, but they're trying to prove themselves right by examples of, persecution and all that, like the Jewish synagogue in California. I'm not going to go in detail what this is all about, but all I'm trying to tell you is to love everyone dearly, and just love everyone dearly and dearly love everyone close together, no matter what. But also, don't accept their religion, but also don't force your religion upon their religion. Instead, preach the truth to everyone once. Let everyone come to you peacefully and nicely. If you feel like they're not being kind to you, or they're not being fair to you, or whatever not, or they're not being people of justice, if they're really not doing things the just way, and they're being corrupt, then I wouldn't deal with these people. Because later they'll find out that their lives have been corrupted by their own deeds. Now, love is one thing, but hate is another. They're two complete opposite animals. And this love is not fall in love kind of love. It's not Valentine's Day love. It is a caring of those who are broken. It is a caring for those who are needy. Like, for example, there was this guy who was the opposite skin color of that I was. He claimed he was a veteran, and I don't know if he was. He had the ID. I don't know. And he was, pretty much helping Peter with the car, and I don't know if it really was, but he was being kind, and he wanted money, and I was like, okay. My first reaction was like, oh snap, this money's not going to the church because I know that it's going to that guy instead. But instead, I gave it to him because I knew that instead of going to the church, it was going to a needy guy who I knew was needy by his clothing. And he obviously was going after money, but I instead gave him a $20 bill because that's all I had. And he said he was going to get pizza from that. And, I feel for people that are homeless. I have a heart for these homeless people. And anyone that's homeless, care for them. Because that's an example of being a Christian. Now, if you're a Christian and you feel like you must kill Jews, well, that is that is not the truth. I can't explain what that word is. It's just there will be days where there will be no truth in some people, that the faith of people will grow cold. It will happen whenever it happens. Maybe it happened today. Like a lot of people's faith are growing cold. Maybe because of pornography. Maybe because of the internet. Maybe because of the media. Maybe for all kinds of reasons. It's just, we gotta be more loving towards each other. We've got to be more understanding. Why did the people choose the Jewish faith? Maybe they didn't understand that that's not really who God really is anymore. He is now he is the Lion of Judah, which is, a lion is just something to seek power and to seek someone to devour. But instead, he's also the Lamb. The Lamb of the cross. And it's not like he has two faces. He has a face of love that is a face of holiness. He has all good stuff. But he also wants to, he wants to keep the world as loving as possible. And he's going to do that no matter what. He wants to keep his land holy. And anyone that is basically, trying to destroy his land, which some people, places it's like the people of Jewish faith, if anyone is to go after, synagogues or the Jewish land, you're poking at God's eye, the apple of his eye, like the center of his eye, of course. So, you gotta understand that there are certain things to do in this world. And, quite frankly, certain things are love people, not to the point of changing. Love God completely, to the point of changing to who you really are in flesh, but basically become God in spirit. Because God came in the flesh, even though he is Lord, and he had the Spirit in his latter days. Yes, God came in his own flesh, and he has Spirit within him. So must we do the same thing. It is perfectly okay to be worried about the people who are falling and failing, because, if people do not have God, they do not have the truth in them. But again, love is the most important thing. A love for everyone else that is needy and hopelessly lost. The love to actually help these people is the only thing we need. We must be full of love of all kind of things. We must love and we should always, if anyone loves us, we should love them back in the most kind way. Remember, it's not the love of the Valentine's Day thing, not the relationship love. It is a self-giving, giving up for yourself to protect those who are needy. If anyone is to be found rich, they must give up everything just to give to the needy. It's not yourself getting needy. It is yourself giving up your own flesh. Because people who are in the flesh and always in the flesh, those are the type of people, that end up, perishing because they held onto the flesh. And you can see by example on the media of how bad the flesh really can get. It's not just your own flesh. Our flesh is all united in one. Just remember that. But our spirit is all united in one as well. And how much of God's Spirit we use really depends on how much honor we get in heaven. And also it depends on how much flesh we use. It's not how much you're a good preacher, or it doesn't depend on how much you really are, how powerful you are, or how many lives you've influenced. No. It really depends on how little flesh you use in your own life, if any at all, and how much spirit you use in God's own eyes. And the second thing is, how close were you to God? That's the thing, because how close were you to Jesus Christ when He talks to you in His own Holy Spirit, to the Father? That's why all one God. His name is Jesus. Because if you really know it, and then the third thing is, how much do you know God? So, first things first. How little of the flesh did you use? And how much of God's Spirit did you use? I mean, Spirit. Because, And the second thing is, how much in communication did you have with God? It's not just prayers. It is actual communication through Jesus Christ. By how much you literally talk about Him. Getting excited to know God. And by talking to Him completely and how much He talks to you. And it's not just you talking to God. It's always yes and amen. It's always you talking to God by yes and amen. He's always talking to you in the means of knowledge, and always by the means of also, and especially, the truth that He tells you to do, and always listening to Him, even though He's being a little strict to you. And the third thing is, how close were you to God? How close were you to God, and how much did you know Him? And guys, I'm going to be frank with you. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of honor in heaven because of the things I did. I'm still struggling. And I don't think I'm going to deserve that much honor in heaven. But I'm going to strive to get as much honor as possible. Because some people are not fit for that much honor in heaven. I'm sorry to say. Because it is also wisdom, it is holiness, and its connection with God. And that wisdom is always in God. Not in flesh, but in God. Let me wrap this up. People who always claim that they're doing the right thing, but instead of doing the wrong thing, these guys are in the flesh. These guys are most likely going to perish. But the people that are in the truth, they're never on the news, unless they're persecuted on the news. These guys are never known as people, they're popular or anything like that. Unfortunately, anyone that is truly of God, they'll never be popular on YouTube. Except the Bible is popular on YouTube for a good reason. That's God's will. But if it's any YouTuber that's on YouTube, and if they're really of God, they're never going to be popular. Anyone that is popular on YouTube, they're of the flesh. I'm sorry to say. They're just, these people are, I'm sorry to say, they're dead. Because they excite the flesh. And the flesh is very few. And you will see how few people there are in the God's Spirit. You will really see. Instead of having a cycle of, let's say, millions of people in one group, and then throughout YouTube, over 1 billion. Instead of that, it's just dozens of thousands. Like, I would say 24,000 people are really, truly God's children. And that's just in a cycle of 100 to 500 people or less that are truly God's children. If they're really comforting the soul, it'll be higher in number, but it'll be close to 500. If they're not really comforting to God's soul, there'll be a less number. Because the media is meant to scare people. It really is. I've seen more and more people there's people, there's media that goes on the left and then the far right. There's media that is agreeing on one accord. These are the events that are happening. And the truth is not found within them. On other factors. But there's the events are actually happening. These events, let's just say, these events are literally, I would just have to say, they're leading to the end of the world. And you'll find the fact that there is very little truth found in this world. And the people that are in the flesh are getting much worse than they used to be. And the people that are in the spirit, they're just getting better. We're just getting more powerful. And if anyone is found in the flesh, they'll be executed on the final judgment day. And if anyone's found in the spirit, this is not half. And if anyone is found in the spirit, whether it be a little more than flesh, which is no honor at all, or if it's mostly flesh, mostly spirit, they'll have the honor in heaven. If it's mostly spirit, these people will basically, have some to a lot more than they expected of honor in heaven. And the honor in heaven is much greater than anyone expected. Let's say, for one example, this homeless person that almost never lives anywhere. Let's say, for example, this homeless person has no non-functioning legs, and he never finds a cardboard box to live in, because there's so many cardboard boxes everywhere, but he cannot find a cardboard box to live in. He cannot even buy a cardboard box. And he's starving to death. People just give him food, and they just mock him. Because they just throw food on the ground. He's crawling to the food almost all the time. Until the day he dies from a stray bullet. Then when he meets heaven, he owns everything. And his honor is great because it's a struggle. Our life is a struggle. The things you will see in heaven, you will not be able to, you won't even be able to have words to describe what heaven is really like. Because owning all of over 1,400 miles of, all of that in a cube, owning all that in the mountain, that's just, there's no words to describe that. And, instead, the honor is what you're trying to seek for. Because how much of God really is in you, that's all you need to know. Because even I am not really meant for honor. Even I am not. How much more do you think everyone else will have? How much more honors would there be if there was anyone else? That is honor. That's just, you should really strive for honor. Not for powerful words, but for honor. All you need to do is know how much honor you have in heaven. let's say, for example, my last example is, if I talk to God almost every day, and He gives me all the kinds of knowledge that Job had to go through, and he goes, sometimes he goes that and tells all the knowledge that Job has, and more than Job has ever had. And even I have a little honor today. How much more should He have? Sorry to say. Think about it, okay? Alright, I'll be there now, okay? Bye.